Hello, this is Gene. Oh, a little bit of sweat there. I was out there doing the lawn. Uh, Here in Florida, it's like 85, so it's been a nice day. As I was watching a little bit of the games, I was like thinking about my journey from probably left wing, radical, not radical, but progressive voices to more of a progressive libertarian stance that I have now. And God, you can really see that with HD. You can see that. And it's, I don't know, a lot of people talk about as you get older, you become more conservative. A lot of guys who were liberals who turn into conservatives or Republicans later in their life. And now I'm about a week away from my 50th birthday. But this has been coming for a while. I just don't understand when the facts are right in people's faces. They still want to go back and say they're being progressives or liberal in mine. The Liberal Party that I was a part of would not shut down dissent. What's going on in Gamergate, people blocking stuff. If you have a question about somebody's content on YouTube, getting blocked or not even allow them to comment, that's not liberal in my eyes. The other issues is the same diminution of men, and it gets over and over again on the left. It just continually goes over and over again on men, like somehow we are the problem. That it wasn't us that actually started the bills for women's suffrage. That we're the ones that were in the Congress at that time. Women wanted it, we did it, and we helped them with it. There's been a equal pay act since 1964, but now we're still, actually 1963, Kennedy signed it, and allowing people who are not getting paid based on sex to have some sort of recourse. But yet we're still here today that women only get 77% of what men make, which is absolutely not true. And it's interesting because, at least in my life, there are a couple of things that people would always come to me and say, Gene knows about this, but Gene, he researches this stuff, when it comes to like audio equipment. Hey, ask Gene. Gene knows we get the best deal and what you can get for your money. Or looking for cars, ask Gene. Gene knows to do things like this. But when it comes to stuff like this, when I say something about it, it's like, well, Gene, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not the same guy that I didn't research it. I mean, I believe this stuff. I believe that men were basically bad, that there was such a thing that boys were going to be boys and they're going to be raping people. I believe that women get as much money as men do, that there was some sort of a glass ceiling, that all this stuff was true, and I believed it, and I fought for it and said, let's do something about it. But the point is that although there may be something in the whole glass ceiling, most of the issues are choices that women make in their lives. If they have the ability and the drive and they're willing to go working 16, 17 hours a day, they will go where they can go. The idea that we should, on the left, they want to talk about half of Congress should be women. The problem is women don't actually want to be politicians. And if they did, they usually win on average. Every time a woman goes for office, they get there more than men do. So there is no glass ceiling when it comes to that. It's what your choices you make, and you want the responsibility of being a congressman, or a man, or a woman. So it's not this idea that we've been oppressing women for the last 50 years. It's just not true. And it just gets over and over again. And so many women out there who don't really consider themselves feminists, they've been indoctrinated into this, and they believe it. I can have these conversations with women, and they believe that they're getting 77% of what men make, even though they're working in jobs that are state funded, and it all matters is how many years you've been there. There is no, for women get this and men get this. It's stupidity. And no one, people just want to say, oh, you hate women. Well, it has nothing to do with hating women. Let's talk about what's going on. And of course, if you're a guy, you get shamed for bringing it up. I mean, we could be put in the in the corner. We can't talk about that. Oh, it's true. Women they've had it so bad. Well, no, they haven't. There may be some areas that it might be dangerous for a woman to walk around some places, but men still get killed more. They get raped more than women do. If you include rape in prison, it's clearly we have more. We are victims of violence more than women are. We get killed more than women do. We are just as abused at home as women are, and yet nobody wants to say anything about it. And if we do, they're like, oh, but wait a second, static tasks don't really mean that women are smaller, that they can't be, they're not really at the same level as men. Well, but yeah, men made all these nice things for them, and they have weapons all over the place that they can use. So women are just as smart as men, and they can do and kill men just as much as men can kill men. I know I'm rambling, but this is the point I'm trying to get across, is this idea that women have been oppressed, especially in the last 40, 50 years. It's garbage. And if you want to do something, everything's out there for you. There are women-only scholarships for people to go to STEM. Boys can't get this. Girls can get it. There are probably, I'd have to look it up, but I think it's like over 150 different types of things that women can get because they're women. When men are a single father and they're with their kids, they're not automatically going to get welfare. The culture says the man should be working and shouldn't stay at home. Women don't have to worry about that. They will get it. And is that something we should change? I don't know. I don't think everybody should be on welfare if they don't have to be. I mean, the idea that a single woman is the greatest, single mother is the greatest thing since sliced bread is wrong. I mean, all you have to do is just the stats and see how many people have come from single families, single mothers that are in jail right now. It is the worst thing that's happened to this country. We can talk about the Republicans or the Democrats or whatever. That instancy, that issue, having just single mothers raising our kids is one of the worst things that's happened to this country, and it's killing us. Look how many people are in jail. People don't have no way out. You can blame men for not being there. We don't even know what the problem is with that. Women have all women have almost all the power when it comes to that. And when men stand up and say, hey, we need to do something about it, what? Women can't do? They can't do it all? They can't be a single mother, have a job, raise kids, they all go to college? No, they can't. They need help just as a man would need. But the whole entire culture believes that that's okay. But all we have to do is say how many of those kids that are at home, when a single mother comes home, who's probably tired or whatever like that, doesn't worry about his kids, and those kids end up doing stupid stuff, and they end up in jail, and then we all pay for that. So I don't want to be this big-time traditional person. There should be two people around, or at least should be some sort of male image in that person's life. The idea that if the father is not there doesn't mean that that woman can't find somebody else that can stand in as a male role model. There are several services that allow that have after-school stuff, especially in the inner cities. Obviously, these are things I would support and would put money into to make sure that kids have something to do after school, and where the men can actually be used there to help. Now, the way the culture is right now, look at, you go on a flight and you find out you're next to a little girl, and they want you to move you because we might be fat, or we might be like a pedophile in disguise, or something, in disguise, because we put so much fear when it comes to men. It's like what it was in the 70s with this whole kids that were, getting abused and talking about satanic type stuff, and we found out almost 99% of that was a lie. And that goes back to other stuff that goes on campuses, and things that the idea that women just will try to get back at somebody just because they didn't get their way. This shit happens. And the idea that that we just can't talk about it and say, why is this happening? Why are guys killing themselves 4 times more than women? You know, why? You know, and we get shut down, and it's wrong. You know, there are several issues in my life. You know, my sons, my daughters, they're getting in adult years, and they're having to go through life, and you know, some things I hear. You know, I'm not going to bring them up on here because that thing should be said to them. But you know, it's hard just to talk to them because they don't believe it. They're like, oh, Dad's just kind of crazy. He don't know what he's talking about. Well, I was that guy. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, I believed all of this. But because I woke up, that I've looked at things and said, you know what, this is wrong. Every other area that they trust me on. And I just said 2 of those, you know, the audio stuff, because people who know me said I'm into audio, and when it comes to like looking for cars or stuff like that, I will always look. And if I'm trying to help people out, I will do whatever I can to find the best deal for somebody. And it says, go to Gene, he's always going to do it. But when I look at this, everybody just looks at me and says, Dad, just, you know, he's old, he doesn't understand this shit. Like, I'm the oldest guy here in my house. You know, I'm the most, obviously I was the most liberal person in this house. They don't know this. My wife, is a conservative until she met me. I didn't change her. She went to college and she changed. But she's still conservative in a lot of ways. But she believes some of this stuff. But she won't look at it. She'll just say, Gene's just crazy. I saw this in my psychological book at work. I know that this has got to be right. And then I say, well, look at the actual stats. And say, no, it's choices. Men work longer. It's never has been that if I had the same job, especially the jobs I had, like with Harris, we'd be in the same bay cap. They'd say if you come off the street with your experience, it was between 65 and 75. If you had a little bit more college, they give you a little bit more for that. And if you negotiated for it, normally men do that. Women don't generally do that. I had a several person that exact same type of stuff as me. I had $1,000 more over the year than her. Same stuff. So there's no pay gap there. That's just me negotiating better. So it's time that they have to be responsible. You know, and this is what I'm trying to get across, is that if you want to be equal, because somehow in your mind you don't think you are, although there are a lot of stuff out there that's just for you, you have to be responsible for those actions. If you want to be a part of somewhere, you have to work and work as much as the men or more. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. So, you know, as I said, I was out there doing that today, and I was just getting a little upset. It happens. So this is just something for me to vent it, to get it out there. Just might be for me, I don't know. But anyway, thank you for listening. If you have any questions or wondering why I'm crazy right now and I'm not the same old liberal Gene that was a mangina all his life, I'm not that person anymore. And it wasn't my stroke. This was just me waking up and seeing how life really is. You know, I used to laugh all the time when guys used to get hit in the nuts all the time on TV. I don't laugh anymore because it's wrong. Anyway, you guys have a good day.